So if you look at the population of Olympia, you could think to yourself, that's a pretty small population. Probably wouldn't take you very much time to drive around and get really acclimated to the area. The reality is, because of how Olympia is positioned on the water, and it could take you all day and maybe even a couple days. So what we've done is taking all of that driving, all of that stress, all of the headache out, and give you a tour of what it's really like to live in each one of the parts of Olympia. And so we've got a little bit of an analogy for you, and I'm holding my hand up because it's a high-five and white guy.
So the reason we are using the hand, because this is going to be your map of Olympia.
Yep.
So you have got this center area, which is going to be basically the city limits of Olympia.
Yep.
But because of the way that Thurston County is laid out, you also have Lacey kind of in here, but Olympia over here, and Tumwater over here, and Olympia over here. It's a little bit confusing. So this could make it a lot easier for you. So here's the center, here's Olympia city limits. This over here,
It's the Land of Lakes.
Land of Lakes, not to be confused with the Butter.
Although butter is good.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
It is. But you'll find out why it's actually Land of Lakes. And if you're a pointer finger type of person, then this area is going to be Johnson Point. If you're a
middle finger person,
this is going to be the Boston Harbor area. If you are a ring finger person, then you're going to be in the Cooper Point area. And then this little pinky over here, this is going to be the Steamboat Island area. And that is how you're going to know all the areas. And I bet that's going to help you remember everything.
At least we hope that it does. And we're Joe and Charity. We're local realtors, and we help people just like you every week are moving to the area. So if you've got more questions, feel free to hit us up on a call or text the number below, and we'd love to help you out.
It's all right. Let's jump in the car. So we were just up at the Capitol building and overlooking the city. As you can tell, gorgeous. So now we are taking you directly and driving you through the Olympia downtown area.
It's great. It's on the water. There's a little marina to walk around, some nice little restaurants.
Capitol Lake to walk around.
Capitol Lake to go on a little bit longer walk if you want to. I like to look at the boats and meander with a cup of coffee. It's like a 10-15 minute meander. And if you want to go a little bit longer, yeah, you can go wherever you want. It's a really quaint downtown.
So obviously, if you are living in the hand of Olympia, the city limits, you're going to be close to this downtown area. We've got video that gives you just the lay of the land in the downtown Olympia area, so make sure you check that one out. But this is going to be your convenience factor if you are in the city limits. You're going to be able to be in this area, and you're going to be able to be over at the mall really quickly. You're going to be able to be in basically Lacey or Tumwater really quickly because you are just right in the hub of things. Now, all of the areas are different, I would say, throughout Olympia, but they're all kind of the same. So you've got HOA neighborhoods in the Olympia city limits. You do actually have properties on acreage that are in the city limits as well. You've got old houses like near the Capitol area that are from the early 1900s, and you've got brand new constructions. So whatever you're looking for, you would be able to find it for sure in the hand of Olympia.
That's right. And we just drove by my favorite little restaurant that we go to on a regular basis. Matter of fact, we're going there tonight, Cascadia.
Cascadia Grill.
Cascadia Grill. It has got good eats for certain. And we just passed the Bread Peddler, which another little favorite place of ours, mainly because I love bread. Bread, I think, is divine. It's God's gift to humanity. Whatever it is, it's amazing.
So if you are in the hand part of Olympia, the city limits, you are going to have kiddos going to the Olympia School District. Now, there are two different parts of the Olympia School District. Over on the west side, that's Capitol High School, and on the east side, you're going to be at Olympia High School. Of course, there's different elementary schools and different middle schools that go with each of those, but it's all considered the Olympia School District. And anytime we talk about schools,
we always recommend that you look online, see what the ratings are, see how things fit with you particularly, what you're looking for. But there are a lot of really great schools in the Olympia area that you would absolutely love.
Yeah, exactly. So as we mentioned before, we do have a video that's specifically going to give you more information on the lay of the land of downtown Olympia. We also have a video that will show you all the neighborhoods that are in Olympia city limits. But today, we definitely want to get you to all these locations.
Yep.
So we are headed to
the Land of the Lakes, flowing with milk and butter.
So why do we call it the Land of the Lakes?
Well, really, because there's a few lakes over there that are very accessible. There's wonderful homes around it that we want to introduce you to. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, I'd like to have lake access to some sort, even if I wasn't on the water. We're going to show you what that looks like so you can make a good informed decision.
So the major lakes in this area are Lake St. Clair, Pattison Lake, Hicks Lake, and Long Lake. There are also other lakes, so it is very lakey.
What's great about this area, it is very convenient to Lacey. And if you need to get on a freeway to commute, it's fairly convenient for that as well. What is interesting about each one of these different lakes is some of them are motorized and some of them are non-motorized. So if you're thinking to yourself, I'd like to have a boat, maybe go skiing or watercraft, you're going to want to check each one of the regulations on the lakes because they're all a little bit different. And some of them have no boats at all, and it's just basically kayak and a little canoe, and that's great as well. So it just depends on what you're looking for.
That would really be terrible if you bought a house on a lake with the anticipation of jet skiing and then you found out.
You couldn't.
So very important tip, very important. This area tends to have homes that are on larger lots. There are some new construction homes, little pockets of them. They're going to be on smaller lots, but if you're looking for a little bit more space around you, then this is really a good spot to look.
The school district in this area is the North Thurston School District, and we think it's a fantastic one. We've had friends whose kids have gone through the whole program and had a really great experience. So if that's important to you to know, please look it up online, but know that there are people that have had wonderful experiences there.
When you look that up, you are going to notice that the North Thurston School District is actually Lacey's school district. And like we said, the boundaries are a little awkward here. So that's why this area, which seems like it should be Lacey, but it's actually Olympia, has two kids going to the Lacey school districts.
If you're looking for a home on the water, on the lake, that's fresh water so that you can enjoy it in some sort of fashion that's important to you, we're going to give you an example of what you could have had if you bought this past year.
Yeah, this last year, this gorgeous home sold. It's over 4,000 square feet. It's sold for nearly $2 million. And the most interesting thing about this particular property, although it's gorgeous,
Amazing.
Look through the photos, you're going to see, wow. I would say
Wow.
grand is what I would describe it as. But still, the most interesting thing is
Not the house, it's you could buy an island. So if you've ever thought to yourself, I would like to just sometimes sit in the middle of a little small island by myself, meditate, do yoga, run around barefoot, and hopefully chase, like, I don't know, a frog, you've got a shot.
there was actually, you could have bought a little private island on the lake for $100,000 extra, which when you're spending $2 million, what's $100,000? Why wouldn't you get that?
I would.
Super cool, super cool. This is something you could have gotten last year. However, somebody else got it. Now you gotta wait till next time. But besides that, not all the houses are on the lake. There are some really affordable and very nice homes in the area. For example,
This one sold for $575,000. It's 1,600 square foot plus or minus, and it's a really great home, and I think would typify what you could find in the area that is not on the lake. The great part about these communities is public access to the lake is very, very convenient. We're going to show you that here in just a second.
what was also great about this house is that it was fully remodeled. So for $575,000, fully remodeled, also on a really large lot with beautiful trees. It was really ideal for those people who got to buy this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
We told you we were going to jump out along the way and show you some of the cool things that you can experience in each of these areas.
Yep. So if you like to go swimming in the summer or a polar bear in the winter, this is an opportunity right here for you. Got some ducks around here. This is really a great place for kids. It's a great place to meander all summer long. And if you want to get out, do a little kayaking, a little paddleboard, canoeing, whatever is up your alley, you've got an option right here.
We are right at Long Lake Park, which is right in the land of the lakes. And it technically is in Lacey, but that's Olympia over there.
So just a long skipping rock throw.
Yeah, and you make it. I wonder where the border is, if it's right down the middle of the
And thinking about throwing like that, I could just think of like my arm falling off and doing, all
Probably
of
not
this.
good.
Not
Not
a good
good.
option. Not anymore.
All right, let's jump back in the car.
So our next point of destination is going to be the Johnson Point area, which is your pointer finger. And what's fantastic about this area, it is close to JBLM. It is close to some good shopping. And if you know any videos that I do, I say Costco a lot, and some really nice state parks that you can go and enjoy.
Also in that area, there is a marina. It's called Zittle's Marina. So if your Pacific Northwest living idea is to have a boat, you would be able to have it right conveniently out there on that point as well, which we're going to be mentioning a lot of marinas because we're going to be out on all these points Just so you know, you pretty much got a marina close anywhere that you're at in Olympia.
Absolutely.
So what's it gonna look like to live in this area? Well, mostly you're going to have a lot of land around you. Most of the homes out in this area have acreage or sizable lots. There's not a lot of, once you get past kind of the Lacey portion of this point and you get out all the way towards the point, there's not really any large new construction neighborhoods. So everybody has got space around them. So if that makes you breathe in deeply and feel like, I live there, that sounds so nice, then this area is going to be so nice for you.
Yeah. One of the things that I appreciate about the Olympia area, and this in particular, is that some of these communities do have beachfront communities. So you have access to it. It's a private community. Now this is going to happen all throughout the Olympia area, but there are a couple cute ones in this area that you might want to consider.
Yeah, Beachcrest in particular is one that has a gorgeous waterfront access, and it means that you get the convenience of having your own space, but you don't have to pay basically the taxes of being right on the water, or you don't have to pay for the cost of having a house right on the water. Johnson Point area is also going to be in the North Thurston School District because it is kind of on that Lacey side of things. They've just incorporated all those kiddos into the North Thurston School District. When we talk about being on Johnson Point, somebody actually bought a house this last year that was on the point. The very, very, very point. Very little.
When this came on the market, I thought to myself, and I think I actually passed this by charity, this is something that I want to live in because it's just so unique and it gives you an example of something that doesn't come up very often, but does come up for an option for you to potentially buy.
And this was 1.3 million, which is a great deal. Really great deal. And look at these pictures, like stunning beach. Not everybody has, even when they buy waterfront property, has this wide open beach like this one, but this is amazing.
Yeah.
This house is on 1/3 of an acre, a little over 2,300 square feet. And man, the outdoor space is of course the kicker. So amazing.
If part of the dream for you moving to the Northwest is to have a property that is on the water, that has unobstructed views, that is just quintessential unique, this really is. So this is fantastic. I would love to live here, basically sitting out there in a lawn chair, watching the tide go in and out, do a little fishing in the right time, perhaps have a boat. This is a spot for you.
But besides that, if you're not gonna live on the water, like I mentioned, there are some gorgeous properties that are just on acreage. For example, this one sold last year and it was on 5+ acres. Really stunning property. Actually, I was really surprised that this one went for $757,000.
Yeah, because you're out in the middle of the woods and you're surrounded by absolute beautiful Northwest living. And I think to myself, like, this is another type of living and lifestyle that is so desirable because it's quiet, it's in the middle of nature, it's surrounded by trees. And to me, that is quintessential Northwest.
So amazing.
We talk about all the time the beauty of the Northwest. And here we are, it's kind of a sunny afternoon in the middle of February. And this is what you get to experience. There's literally no one down here at this park. Which park is it?
Ptolemy State Park.
And you can meander around here. This happens to be about mid-tide, not necessarily all the way up yet, but it is gorgeous and it's beautiful. And this is the middle of winter.
It's amazing. And this, by the way, is on the way from the Land O'Lakes out to Johnson Point. We just wanted to make sure we stopped and gave you an idea of some great things that you can do as you're meandering this way.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous day, beautiful water, all of the things.
And there's great trails.
And there's great trails as well. But, you know.
I have a friend who comes swimming here all the year around, which is crazy. But
yeah,
if you're into that, there's a group here for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to get me swimming out there at this time of year, or quite frankly, any time of year, because that's just not how I go. I don't go into the water that way on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not in the water. All right, here we go. Let's jump back in the car.
We are heading from Johnson Point to Boston Harbor. Now, obviously on the map, they're not very far away and you can do some little back roads to get over there. It is interesting to note how beautiful it is going from one spot to the next. I live here and I am always amazed by how beautiful the pine trees are, whatever time of the year, and how treed this area is, especially between these 2 points. It's remarkable.
Boston Harbor is one of our absolute favorite spots in all of Olympia. And the reason for that is it feels like it's its own little town secluded right out here on the water. A lot of the other areas are gonna have kind of houses all along as you get out there, but this one, there are houses on property, but once you get out to Boston Harbor, it's just
Its own little community.
it's an amazing.
It truly is an amazing little community. Not a lot of homes in the area, so when they come up, people have been looking. You can have one for sure. There's options for you, but just to be aware of that if you're considering this area as well, it's going to be limited amount of homes and very quick to probably move if priced right.
Yeah, and almost all the homes in the Boston Harbor area have either a waterfront access or a water view. But the general area around this particular spot on the map is also called Boston Harbor area. So you can get properties that are not quite in the little towny part that you're going to still be considered Boston Harbor, and you're going to be more on rural properties.
Yeah, now it's going to be larger lots. Some of them are going to be 5-10 acres. So you have space if that's what you're looking for. And if you're looking for something that just feels out in the middle of nowhere, but it's truly not, it's close to downtown Olympia, it's close to Tumwater, it's close to shopping, and it really is secluded in its own way. It's a fantastic area.
Yeah, this is actually quite convenient to downtown. You are out the point, but compared to Johnson Point, you're closer to downtown. So if it's important to you to be close to downtown, then this is an area that you might want to consider.
And interestingly enough, this is part of Olympia School District. So Olympia High School is going to be the high school all the elementaries are going to feed into, even though it feels like it's a long ways away from Olympia High School, and it kind of is, it's what you're going to be able to expect.
Another park that we love that is right out next to Boston Harbor is called Burfoot Park.
Yeah.
It's got a really huge area, big field area, play area for the kids. It's just fantastic. It's got rhododendron gardens, which grow naturally here. And the best part though is this meandering little trail, I would say maybe a quarter mile.
Yeah, it's not far.
Through the woods. It's gorgeous, and then it opens right up onto the beach. So even if you don't have a home that has waterfront access, you have this beautiful park here.
Yeah. And when you ever hear us talk about distance on a trail, please be aware that we are usually off on this. We go on 2-mile hikes, then we get back to the car and it's actually been 7 miles, and it takes us twice as long as we thought it would because we just keep going. So when it comes to trails,
Don't believe us.
not necessarily.
Although this one's pretty short.
This one is short. This one is definitely short. Is it a quarter mile? I have no idea.
If this area sounds like could be ideal for you, then you're going to want to know what you can get here. So we're starting with a property that actually isn't on the water, which we tend to highlight all the waterfront properties in all the areas, but this one was really fantastic. It was sold for around $1.6 million. It was on 1.3 acres, 4,200 square feet, and it has 672 square foot detached carriage house on top of the garage. So you've got extra living space for whoever else you need to have living at your place.
Yeah, and if you have holidays and the kids are coming in or extended family is coming in and you want to have a place for them that's not necessarily in your home because you want a little bit more space, I respect that, by the way. This has an option for you if you happen to be a little bit like me and need space.
Yeah, and it's very wooded around it, so it's just a gorgeous piece of property. Makes you feel like you live in the middle of nowhere, but all the while you're not that far away from Olympia Central. On the opposite end of what you can find in this area, there's this cute little house built in 1949, almost an acre that it's on, beautiful little garden. Really charming, and this one sold for only $560,000.
You're going to hear me say this multiple times if you're watching any of our videos. I love this about the Olympia area. It is so eclectic in all of its regions and all of the areas. It's eclectic of what you can find in houses, and just beautiful and amazing to me. So charming.
Yeah, it's not exclusive. It's not like you can't live in a certain area if
Yeah.
you don't have a certain budget.
Yes.
You can live in every area if you have a budget ranging from the bottom to the top, because there's just options as this one shows.
So we jumped out here at the Boston Harbor Marina because this is just so fun as a community. So you can moor your boat, you can go kayaking here, paddleboarding. They have a lot of events throughout the year at the marina here itself. So it's a wonderful little community to be a part of.
And there were some orcas sighted out here earlier this year as well. So you might get a little bit of whale watching. This community is really tight knit. People really get to know each other. So if you'd like to live in an area where you feel like you're in a small town and you really know all of your neighbors and have a sense of community around you and have this beautiful waterfront, then this is definitely a spot for you.
So we're gonna jump back in the car and take you to the next location.
Let's go.
All right, so we are heading to Cooper Point. Now this is gonna go back down through downtown Olympia to get back around over it because we don't have a ferry that goes from point to point. So it's gonna be a little bit of a loop, but as we're on there, we're gonna tell you some highlights that you're gonna wanna know.
So the Cooper Point area is this finger on the hand. We've hit here, 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 and now we've made it to here. The Cooper Point area is most convenient to the mall area and a lot of shopping. So if you wanna be out on a point, but you also want to be convenient, then this is definitely the area for you. The Cooper Point area, differently than the other points that we've already showed you, has more housing developments. Not a lot of newer construction ones, but since the 2000s and even some that were in like the 80s and 90s that had been built in this area as actual HOA neighborhoods. And Joe was mentioning before that there are some areas in Olympia where you have private beach access. It's just for your neighborhood. And this area has several of them and they are amazing. Every time we show a house in one of those areas, we think we should sell our house and move to here.
Yeah,
Trouble with being real estate agent.
it really is. Matter of fact, I was showing a house for a client yesterday and it's a mid-century modern in this area. Amazing views. You're not on the water, but amazing views of the water from both stories. And it's a little charmer. It's not a very large home, very easy to maintain, very easy just to kind of live in because there was a primary suite on the main floor. Super gorgeous home. So if that's something, there's options. This area is an Olympic school district as well. However, Capital High School is the high school that your kids would be feeding into through the elementary systems, which is a wonderful high school. Like we said before, make sure you check the ratings. But our experience with friends who have kids have gone through their system, it's been an amazing experience as well.
Yeah, for sure. So let's give you some examples of some of the houses that you can buy in this area. This first house we want to show you is a custom craftsman home, very Northwesty feeling, over 4,000 square feet on an acre. It's a water view property, not a waterfront, but they also have deeded access to their own dock. So basically you get the best of both worlds. Take a look at these photos and I know you're gonna think I could live there and I would feel like I'm living in the Northwest. And we just almost hit a deer.
We didn't almost hit a deer. Let's clarify that.
That's why we stopped abruptly so we wouldn't hit a deer. Very woodsy in this area.
Yeah, that is the fun part about the Northwest is wildlife all over. It is not like you're living in a big industrialized city to where it's just overwhelming with
Concrete.
Yeah, it is definitely not a concrete jungle when you're in this area. And we love that. So we've alluded to this multiple times, but it is a more laid back, a little bit like we talked about. It's a little crunchy, a little granola, and we love it. Like that's the vibe you're looking for. This is it, because it's laid back and it's beautiful and it's gorgeous. And like I said, we're literally minutes to downtown, but it's really like you're nowhere land.
Right, we're driving in farmland right now. There are beautiful homes on probably 20 acres.
They're parcels, yeah.
It's amazing. Speaking of that, let's tell you about the other house. The other house that we wanted to show you as an example of this area was sold for $590,000. This is actually a house that I sold and my clients amazingly remodeled it. It was basically perfect.
Yeah, whoever bought that house got the deal of the century. It was really gorgeous, completely custom inside and out, so meticulously well done, beyond impressed.
Yes, the property itself backed up to a ravine, so you had a beautiful backdrop, and this is one of the neighborhoods that has its own beach. So they got to take their kayaks down, park them down there, and they could just go down and kayak whenever they wanted to. It's really ideal and such a great price. As you're going out to the Cooper Point area, depending on kind of what side you approach it from, on one side, you're going to be near Evergreen State College. So if you've got anybody that's thinking about attending, that is something you might want to be aware of.
What's great about the trails in this area is most of them are paved and makes it easier if you're pushing a stroller or because, you know, sometimes rough trails are hard to walk on if you're aging just a little bit. And it is so lush. That's the part that just blows me away every time, is these massive trees around and you're just walking through a forest on a paved road, which is amazing.
It's gorgeous. You can't really see the college unless you get back into the trees. You're gonna drive by a big sign that says Evergreen State College and you're gonna think, where is the college?
Does it really exist?
Tree people. They actually are tree people. Yeah, that's a great location. And then also, if you're coming up to Cooper Point area on the other side, you're going to run across what we're going to show you in a minute. We'll get out and show you. We jumped out here at the Olympia Golf and Country Club because this is, even though there's other golf courses in the area, this is the best one.
Yeah, this is the best, mainly because you're looking right behind us and it is on the water. It's gorgeous. It's in the North Cooper Point area. Fantastic community, and the homes around this area are absolutely stunning. I think some of our favorite homes that have come up on the market that we've either toured with clients or just voyeuristically looked at are in this community for sure.
And the country club not only has golfing, but also has a restaurant, has swimming pool, other amenities as well. So absolutely a perfect space to show you of what you can experience in this part of Olympia. So let's give you a spin so you can see not only the water, but also the country club behind us, and then the golf course is right up behind that. All right, let's jump back in the car. Here we go.
So how'd you like Cooper Point? It's pretty great, isn't it? Well, we got one more point to show you, and that's your pinky point, which is going to be Steamboat Island. So you might be thinking to yourself, okay, I don't want to necessarily be around as many people. I want a little bit even more rural feel. Well, this is going to have some options for you.
Steamboat Island actually is a little tiny island with, I don't know, would you say about 20 houses on it or so?
Maybe a little bit more than that. However, it's tiny. There is currently one for sale that's complete teardown.
Which Joe considered it.
I actually toured it. I was like, well, this might be an option for an investment. It wasn't for me. Might be for you though, if you're interested and happen to get this out right on the right day.
So like, besides that little tiny island, all the area as you're going out there is called Steamboat Island area. And as you're headed out there, you're gonna notice a lot of rural properties. Again, when you get out to the end, right before the island, there's gonna be the Carleon Beach neighborhood. And that neighborhood is really great. It's a large neighborhood. It has a lot of options. So you've got waterfront properties in the $1 million price range. You've got water view properties in the 5, 6, 7. You've got little houses, little manufactured homes. You got a complete mix. You've got prices from the 300s to the millions. So that's great. And then everything else as you're going out there is going to be rural properties.
Yeah, some really great view properties for sure. Some waterfront properties throughout Steamboat Island area. I think it's one of those areas where if you want a very affordable waterfront community, you're going to be able to have that as an option.
And like Joe was saying, that waterfront, when you're in that Carleon Beach neighborhood, you have your own beach access again, and it's got its own marina, which it's not for anybody else. It's just for you and your neighbors. So that is pretty cool. It's amazing how affordable it is to have those amenities.
Now this is Griffin School District through middle school, and then they end up going over to Capitol High School. So like Boston Harbor could feel like a little bit of a trek to get you to high school. This could feel like a little bit of a trek. However, it's really worth it if the quality of life that you're looking for is more rural, kind of quiet, and has some unique features to it, like the beachfront that we were talking about.
This area, even though you are out there and a little more rural, you actually have a lot of great options. The area that is built up around the Steamboat Island area has pretty much all the things that you would need without having to come back into town. And we're gonna jump out and show you that in just a couple seconds.
Why would we stop in a parking lot? That's a really good question.
It is.
Because we wanted to show you that there are a lot of amenities out here, even though you're a long ways away in Steamboat Island.
All right, so I'm going to read a list to you that one of my clients put together. So are you ready? Here we go. We have a health and fitness center. We have a Steamboat athletic center that has great tennis courts, swimming pool. We've got acupuncture. We've got yoga. We've got a drive-in. We've got a community tavern. We've got coffee shops, and we've got taco trucks, and we've got 2 grocery stores, and we got areas for pets, and we've got animal surgical center, and we've got veterinarians, and we've got a nail spa, and we've got a bank, we've got flower shops, we've got massage artists, we've got gas stations, we've got the elementary and the middle school, we've got garden shops and auto repair shops, and everything basically you need, so you don't have to worry about being out too far and not having all the things that you need.
Got them all, and I think we probably missed more than a handful.
Yeah, there was a few that I didn't read. All right, let's jump back in the car. Another great park that's in this area is Fry Cove Park, and it is another beautiful wooded park with a beach. Seems to be a theme around here.
Yeah, that's the unique part of the Olympia area is there's a lot of beach access, more than you would expect in a developed area.
Yeah. So let's give you an idea of what kind of homes you can buy in this area. The first one that we want to show you is on 27 acres.
27 acres. This is your own little private estate. It has so many great features to it that, man, it's compelling, to say the least. Somebody got a great value. That's all I know.
And this one actually has enough room in its shop to park 20 cars.
Yep. So if you're thinking to yourself, I need a bunch of more cars and maybe have a couple, like, hey, a couple's not enough. You definitely have options. This one has a guest house, so the holidays could be great. They can have their own space, you have your own space, or potentially you could use this somebody rent to a friend or family member.
This one was a great deal. Somebody got this 27 acres and everything that went with it for under 1.2 million.
That's just a screaming deal.
I know, imagine what you could do with all that acreage. Most of it is wooded, but whatever, make your own park.
Exactly.
From that to the simplicity of a home that is in that Carlian Beach neighborhood for $445,000. A 3-bedroom rambler on a 1/4 acre lot. It's great. $445,000 is a great price.
Yeah, and all those amenities that we were alluding to earlier are yours. And to have that at that price point, that's really great value. And it is such a better value than any other place in the Puget Sound area, in my opinion.
Exactly, and Joe's opinion counts.
And it's biased. We've driven all around Olympia so that you have a good understanding of the lay of the land so that you can make the most informed decision you can. And we wanted to highlight a couple of little areas that we find fascinating, very easily accessible, and a lot of fun to spend days on.
After watching this, you may feel like you want to give us a high five because now you know the full lay of the land and you have the cheat sheet to know all the areas that are in Olympia. If you have any more questions on any of these areas, feel free to reach out to us, call us, or text us. We would love to chat with you. And of course, if this video has been helpful, keep watching.